Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The situation in Avdiivka is near critical. That means, I would say, done. But hey, I have this article coming from the Ukrainians, not the Russians providing this kind of update. Ukrainians say situation in Avdiivka near critical. OSINT analyst interview, OSINT analyst interview. Now, if you remember, Avdiivka is in Donetsk Oblast, and it's almost, I would say, it's been a sitting duck for some time. It's almost surrounded, encircled. The Russians control now. 2 days ago I made a video where I say they almost control I think they control it by being able to shell it, the supply lines, the supply road, singular. So let's look into this article, and I have two maps, one from the Russians and the other one from another one which is always more detailed than the Russians map, but it helps a better understanding of what's going on over there. So let's start with the article. Comes from the New Voice of Ukraine. Here it is. So it comes from today, Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Situation in Avdiivka near critical. OSINT analyst interview. Roman Pohorili, co-founder and analyst of the deep state military open source intelligence monitoring project, spoke in an interview with New Voice of Ukraine radio on February 5th about the situation in Avdiivka, Donetsk Oblast, where the Russian troops have been advancing in recent weeks. So let me show you the map, what they're talking about. So this is the map of Ukraine. This is the contact line here. So this is Donetsk Oblast, and it's right here. This is where it occurs, Donetsk Oblast. So let me show you Avdiivka, where you see this little thing here. This is where, but this is an up. Even the Russians use it as a. This is from Sputnik, the 6th, which is today, the February. We see it shows this little road here, still functional, far away from it. Now I'm going to show you another map, and the other map is going to show a different story. I can't go close, I can't zoom more on this map, but the other one I can go to much deeper. So let's see further what this guy says, and then we're going to go to the other one, the other map, as he's going to explain. New Voice. I would like to start with the December. He said, I'm just going to read his answers. Avdiivka now is a very complicated process, a very complicated city with heavy battles taking place. If you look at the latest update, you can see which area the enemy has taken over and in what direction they're moving. All right, they've also become more active in the south. This is the area near Tsarska, Kota restaurant. Okay. Breakfast, please. Okay. So this is in the south. He said the south is right here, this area right here. I'm going to use the other map in a second until as soon as we get more information. Southeast of Avdiivka, yes. This is the area where the Russians had successful tactical maneuvers, particularly with the help of a tunnel, which they are using to advance, like a New York City tunnel. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see what that is. I'm going to go to the other map. No, not with you. Close, we don't want you. All right, so here it is. See, much closer zoom than this. But on the other hand, I can even go deeper. So, there you go. So see, this right here is the route, if you ignore this one, that's the only route that was available on the other map right here. This map showed the Russians not close to it. The real map shows them right on it. This is a sensitive map right there. This is the curve of that right there. So this map, obviously, the Russians are much closer, more advanced than they show on that one. So here it is you see this little bulge here? It wasn't like this before, right here. So they're going to cut them in half. How much more before they get here? There's nothing here. I mean, look, and this is not the Russian map as far as I remember. All right, so this is how they're going to cut them right here in two. Those guys over there and those guys over here. Let's go back to the article. Let's close this thing. All right. Yes, since they feel successful there, they're concentrating their forces there. They're being in the underground tunnel. They are trying to push through with everything they have and develop this success. Everything is moving towards their goal, to enter the residential area or areas of the city. What are you talking about? This is the residential area. If they cut you like that, they don't never have to go over there. You're going to be dead over there. You can't do shit. This is the residential area. If the Russians are cutting right here in two, they don't need to enter this. They're just going to wait, like in the medieval times and before. Just wait for the castle to be starving. That's it. And then we'll come out, like Mariupol. Remember Mariupol? Azovstal, steel plant? Everything is moving towards their goal, to enter the residential area of the city. It will be very difficult for Ukraine if they enter the residential area, and it won't be easy to oust them if they dig in. The south would follow, namely Pervomaiske and Vodiane, that is south of Avdiivka. South of Avdiivka is Marinka, which is already done right here. Done with that one. So he's talking about south in this area. I don't want to go and disturb this map, because once I disturb it, it's just it's too sensitive, and I have a problem with that. Anyway, let's move back to the article. They're trying to advance in all directions, develop success, and expand the territorial control. This is Severnie, Tonenke, and Pervomaiske are the directions they bypass and look for, picking out a weak spot. If you look further north, they're now focused on Vesele and Kamianka. They're also advancing and succeeding there, and we can see they're developing this success. They're entering the low-density residential area, trying to bypass the Avdiivka coke plant further south. The defense of Avdiivka is now under extremely difficult conditions. Bakhmut used to have a lot of media attention when it was under comparable pressure. So Avdiivka is, Marinka is, I'm sorry, Bakhmut, wasn't it Bakhmut or Marinka? Where is it? Bakhmut. Bakhmut is Artemovsk, that's how the Russians call it, and is right here, Artemovsk, where my strong hand is. Already conquered. This is where the Wagner private military company, mercenaries, how you want to call them, took over when Prigozhin was still around. Now, Avdiivka is now in difficult conditions. They're advancing and have accumulated human resources and equipment in the area. Supposedly they have about 70,000 people over there ready to go and have reserves in the back. So they bring the first ones, and then they bring more, they bring more, they bring more. They're now not just attacking with manpower, but have also brought some more equipment to bear. We need all the attention and maximum help there now. We need to do everything possible to hold off the enemy, as there's no room for mistakes. And he said, what might be the consequence if we lose Avdiivka? First, they would immediately begin to consolidate their ground, they will build fortifications, and they would have an advantage in this. They do everything possible to gain a strong foothold. Accordingly, we would have to drive them out of these positions, and that means additional forces, additional losses, the lives of our soldiers and civilians. Therefore, it is necessary to make all effort, use all the resources and means, absolutely everything, to prevent the enemy from advancing. If this fall of Avdiivka happens, it will lead to dire consequences. They said the same thing when Mariupol, which is in Zaporozhye right here, in Donetsk, Mariupol right here, fell. The same thing. Oh, if this Mariupol fell, everything is over. Nothing is over until it's over, right? Yeah. Okay, it says urban warfare is incredibly difficult. It would be very difficult to oust enemy troops from Avdiivka if they capture it. Well, as I said, the Russians do not need to get you out. They just have to complete the encirclement, and then you're going to be starving. Very easy. Or they can go around here far away from you and just bomb the shit out of you. I mean, that's... So I don't know what they're talking about. And if they cut them right here, they cut them from the outside help, support, these guys cannot come and help them. and they're going to expand here, and they're going to leave them here, surrounded, and they will decimate them little by little and starve them. So yeah, the situation is, as he says here, in they say near critical. When you say critical is done, I think it's critical, it's been critical for some time. It was just a matter of time. Unfortunately, people die in this matter of time, and we forget to think about it, or some of us tend to forget that people over there who die, people who are starving, people who are cold, people who are wounded, people who are deserted by their own leaders. And other people are counting their profits, looking at the stock market and their investments. This is how life is for you, for all of us actually. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.